Hello, Kunz. My name is Cloven, and welcome back to a new video. Today, we are playing Riddle School 4. And get into the game in 3, 2, 1, boop! What is happening? Analyzing max system. Analyzation process complete. What? Riddle School's force. What? What is happening? This is back. What? 3a plus 61 to the power 8/3 at times 4.61b. Unbend the rules, Mr. Munch. Half posters. Oh my goodness, there's 2 floors? Okay, Phil, great. What? What the what? Excuse me? Phil's teacher, Mr. Munch, was the original architect of Riddle University. The school was built above a long pit of lava that he himself dug near an active underwater volcano. His plan to murder Phil Egtree to forever rid him of this world succeeded. And no one cared. Every other student of Riddle School University would eventually die. From car wrecks, old age, and unforeseen blah blah. Each one of their deathbed whispered their final message. Ending process. Stay tuned after the credits to see your What? This is no, there's 2 floors to this bitch. There's 2 floors to this place. No. Are you squeeze me? What in the world? Accessing failed. Phil Egtree offline. Dream chair logout detected. What? Beginning transmission. What? What in the what? You beat the game in 28.4 seconds. You've also unlocked Real Fun Facts special features now available on the main menu. Real Fun Facts. 2 days. What? Special feature. Projected lives of all the characters. Making of Riddle University. 2010's audio commentary for game's old ending. 2020's audio commentary for the game's new ending. That's... Okay. Predictions based off the collected data and may not be accurate. Fred Whistler. Male. Doing nothing, doing something. Fred didn't really like school, but he thought it was wise to stay in school anyways and make the best grades he could while not doing very much. He grew up, took many effortless occupations such as music conductor, substitute teacher, and abstract artist. One day he fell asleep, face first in vat of paint. You guess what happened? What? Smiley Sunday, aw. female education distraction. Smiley had a legitimately good life. She managed to perfect 100s in every one of her college classes, and a long-lasting career in biomedical sciences. That is, yes, Smiley for the win, my favorite character. I have to say this in every single Riddle School video. My favorite character. She got married to the perfect man who just also happened to also have a smile as smiley as hers. They spent the rest of their days together, living happily in a treehouse in a beautiful forest. Zach Kelvin. Male. Anything not cold, freezing into ice. Zach was so determined not to be cold anymore that he bought a plane ticket to the tropics midway into his first year of college. Right above an active volcanic island, the plane ran into a bad bit of turbulence, and Zach ended up crashing through a window, fell into the erupting volcano, and froze to death. Richie, male, collecting, getting stuck. Richie dropped out of high school, wishing he had paid so much attending to collecting stuff. He was mugged in the dark alley and woke up trapped in a smelly dumpster. Nobody ever found him. 5. Male, designing shirts, being unjustly sued. 5 sold t-shirts online for a living, and his talent was eventually realized by a big graphic design company. He made the mistake of asking them for a slightly large sum of money, and the companies ripped him off and sued him. 5 was put in jail for the next 5 years, and not once for the rest of his life did he have enough money to sue them back. 808. I thought that was Bob. Male, dusting, idiots. 5's dad. Ooh, 5's dad. He insisted on being the janitor at Riddle Elementary School because he loved to clean so much, until his son was unfairly sued by a big t-shirt designing company. He realized he would need a better paying job, and ended up being a garbage boy in France. He was having so much fun that he forgot his son existed. Middle school janitor. I hate when there's no capital letters and stuff. Male, criticizing cheesy pencils. Riddle School was locked in his own world closet in the middle school. One day, not long before the school had closed down and was replaced with a new one, he ate his mop, drank his dirty mop water, and nibbled on his hat as he stuck in the darkness of the closet. The last sound he ever heard was the sound of wrecking balls smashing the walls. High school janitor, male, unclogging toilets, whatever clogs them. The janitor of Riddle High claimed he could hear a pipe problem from a mile away, and that was in fact true. His uncanny ability to hear toilet clogs earned him a television show reputation as the perfect-eared plumber. The show was cancelled after 2 years because it was realized nobody had ears. Furious, the janitor leapt off a bridge. Mr. Calm, that's his name, wow. Male, math, being forgetful. Mr. Calm was never a very smart person. After the first Riddle School game, he learned about how small the percentage of drinkable water on the planet there was. He decided right then to never drink anything again. The end. Mrs. Kofi, female, coffee, being corrected. Mrs. Kofi was never a very smart person. She told Mr. Calm that nearly all of the world's water was drinkable, but then she realized she only drank coffee, and wasn't really sure how much straight-up water was drinkable. So she went to the beach because there was a lot of water in the ocean, and she drank as much as possible. The end, and she drowned. And Mrs. Green, female, coffee, cleaning after cows. Mrs. Green once drank 99 cups of coffee, and 100 cups she died of caffeine overdose. Elementary school teacher, female, yelling people. Teacher once screamed at the school student so loudly that the walls of the rooms she was never collapsed around her. Nobody knew what to put her in a tombstone because nobody even knew her name. Dang. Mr. Oboe, male, English, his own name. He was getting ready to sit down one night at school play about knights and horses. He was told before the show to hold a sword, which was one of the props. It wasn't a real sword, but ironically he still died from it. Because the sword was made of allergy medicine that Mr. Elboy was allergic to. Greg sleep. Male sleep nightmares. He was asleep for 18 of his first 20 years of his life. One day, he woke up and realized how much he aged, and after panicking, decided to move on. Got a driver's license and was on his way to the grocery store and had a fatal wreck sleeping at the wheel. Saying! Mrs. Sleep. Female sleep, being awake. She once got married and had a son named Greg. Eventually, she died sleepwalking off a cliff. Mr. Sum, male, gardening, getting robbed. Mr. Sum was a math teacher for his entire life. He was gardening on the roof of a building and suddenly got mugged by a bear who ate him 30 minutes later. Mr. Sagi, male, being able to see, not being able to see. Mr. Sagi simply couldn't find his glasses, so he on his way to get new glasses and got a fatal car wreck because he couldn't see. Dang, Mr. Reed, male, being able to read, loud people. Mr. Reed was reading a comic book in Riddle High Library. He was reading words, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words would never hurt me. When he got a nasty paper cut and lost every inch of blood in his body. Miss Flask. Female inventing false alarm. She invented a flying chair and discovered there's no air in space. Oh. Miscount. Female, anything but monkeys. Monkeys. Monkey hater. She was bored at her home and decided to look for games on the internet. She found a game called Riddle School 3, which she proceeded to beat twice in a row. Not long after, she was put into an insane asylum, whispering widely something about monkey doll curse. Odd verb. Female, making others smile, being called a guy. Mrs. Oddverb was very tired of people taking one look at her and thinking she was a guy. So she went berserk and set fire to a shoe store. She saw a small boat and sailed away from a civilization never to be seen again. Mrs. Mooses. Female, sarcasm, people who don't listen. Mrs. Mooses was a bank robbery suddenly took place. The robber told her to get down on the ground. She said the ground was awfully dirty and it wouldn't be good for her new dress. She got shot multiple times and her dress was ruined. Dang. Mr. Chwezwoon. Male, getting in fights, losing in a fight. The name's too dang hard. Formal principal of Riddle Elementary. Was put in prison for life because he physically beat a student's head in. Mr. Male, looking important. Broccoli ice cream. Mr. Counselor of Riddle School, Riddle Middle, was robbed. All of his possessions unexpectedly several weeks after the event. Mr. noticed he didn't have a house. He died of starvation right after that because he also apparently didn't know how he had no food. Mr. Potato, male, video games, real life. Potato discovered the magic of video games while Phil was in high school. He did nothing but play video games long after Phil left high school. He died happily right after beating a game called Riddle School 3. 6 feet under, he's still holding his favorite video game controller. Joe! Male! Himself! Not having toilet paper. Joey didn't make it to college. His grades were terrible. He thought himself, I wonder what gasoline tastes like. His will stated that he wanted to be cremated after death. What his friends didn't know was that the stomach was still full of gasoline and it doesn't mix too well with fire. Diz. Male, question, supposedly a foreign exchange student. Diz popped up into Riddle University single time. And after that, it was as if he completely disappeared from existence. Chub. Male, eating, not being able to move. Right after Phil's death, Chubb stopped eating for the rest of his life simply because he got so big she covered too much of his mouth. For him to eat anything else, he lived an entire century after he stopped eating because of his metabolism. It is rumored Earth's most devastating earthquakes were caused by Chubb struggling to move. This is much. Female, serving food, having an obese son. She loved to serve food, but she felt she served her son too much, and she didn't know what to do. She struggled to internal struggle with her husband, Mr. Munch. and he said she should just give him all of Chubb's food to him. She soon realized she had a terrible husband and divorced him after feeding her son more than ever. Mr. Munch, male murdering people. Devastated by his wife's decision of a divorce, started a plan to take his life of every one of her friends and acquaintances. He realized he didn't know much about his former wife as he thought, and the only person he could remember her talking to is a kid named Phil. He killed Phil, later died by overeating. And Phil Eggtree, male, local thinking, falling into lava pits. Phil only went to college because he figured it had to be better than elementary, middle, and high school. He went to the newly built Riddle Uni because it was local. It was cheap, and he didn't have any particular plans for the rest of his life, so it wouldn't matter what his classes took. At first, he thought Riddle School was just like the other three he escaped from. Just when he considered trying to make his fourth escape, he found it was completely different. Wow, that was a lot of reading. Making. Plan to kill Phil, lol, rhyme. 1. Build a time machine, crossed out. Dig a hole into a lava stream. 2. Build a college on top of it. 3. Request being a teacher there and arrange seating chart for Phil to be on the hall. Genius. Plans by Mr. Munch. School, college, build it there. Long spark fit, build. Underwater volcano. Yep. Given to me. Bald. Looks like this. Always wear green. He needs to sit on the desk closest to, so I can kill him. Bill. Killed Phil. Now what? Audio.
Hey, I'm John Bro, and this is the commentary for Riddle School 4 ending, because I wanted to balloon the file size and make it look like the same size as Riddle School 3 or something similar. I wanted to make a commentary just because it seemed like it would be a funny idea to have for the game, because most of the game is a movie. And I figured I would have to make a commentary better than the one for Pain on the Brain 3, because that one sucked. I already had it in my mind that Phil should die in Riddle School 4, because I got so sick of requests for a fourth Riddle School game. And I started one before called Riddle University, but it wasn't going to be very good. I only had planned the first room, which is the one that's seen in Riddle School 4. And I think it was just ripping off of the idea of another game where you had to make a fishing pole out of basic objects like a pencil and a string. I don't remember exactly. So my friend Yoshi Egg came over. He was the other voice in the Pain on the Brain 3 commentary, and I said, I'm going to make Riddle School 4 tonight. And he's like, all right. So I started with that room, and I started animating Phil falling to his death in a lava pit. There were several ways he could have died, but we figured that was the funniest and the easiest to make. And one of my computers is a flash computer, and one of them is an internet computer. So I have to use a flash drive to go between the two. Yeah? So I went to Yoshi Egg, who was on the internet computer playing RuneScape, and I said, hey, can I use the computer for a second? I need to find some sad music for when Phil dies. It was funny. He said I could never imitate exactly how I sounded whenever I said that, but I tried, so... in one night, this game was born, mostly this movie, and we laughed our heads off watching the ending. Well, that's really about it. I need to think of more to say. The real reason I made this game was because I wanted to see the reaction on Newgrounds.
Oh.
When I was starting to make the first game out of the series, I wasn't picturing at all that I would ever make something like this. I was just trying to make a ripoff of Pico's School by Tom Fulp. And
I guess I'll have to
now
go
it's
into
a four-parter where he dies. This is the best game ever. This is my favorite of the whole series, and it always will be. I'm gonna try to scream like Phil again. No, that's not quite it. Oh well.
As you will immediately be able to tell by my voice, this was not recorded at the same time as the other developer commentary. This was recorded 10 years later.
Yeah.
I am 26 years old now. I go by Jonachrome instead of John Bro. And it's the year 2020, which is the same year that I decided to make legacy editions for each game in the Riddle School series, partly to preserve them for after Flash Player dies, but also because I wanted to make little improvements to each game. And as far as non-gameplay related changes go, the ending text of Riddle School 4 is among the bigger changes that I decided to make in the series. I mostly wanted to keep these pretty authentic to the way that they were, but this was one exception because I was thinking of ways that I wanted to change this particular game, and I knew that I wasn't going to make it longer because one of the things that I like about it is that you click once and then Phil dies, and that's the entire thing. Partly because I don't want to make another school escape game, partly because it ties in very closely with the story of Riddle School 5, and also because I feel like in retrospect, the bizarrely out-of-place nature of this game is part of what makes the series stand out, and this is like the dividing line between what the series was and what it became. So I think it's kind of special in that way. But I did want to change the ending because it's out of place in a different way. I thought the overly meta nature of speaking directly to the audience was something that really only made sense at the time that it was released. Because it was released on April 1st of 2010, as you know, April Fool's Day, and the whole joke was this is the anticlimactic ending to the series, there's not going to be more games after this, and the next day I released Riddle School 5, because I already had that in mind. So, the joke doesn't really hold water anymore now that we all know the series goes beyond this, and I figured, I'm gonna edit this to no longer be such a direct message to the audience. I want this to instead be something that leads into the next game because I know what the story of the next game is at this point, and everyone knows that it exists. So that's pretty much the long and the short of it. It's interesting looking back and making these changes and just kind of hoping people approve of them, because I don't know if they will or not, but there you go. Thanks for listening. You beat the game in 0 seconds.
Wow, that was epic. That was honestly fantastic. I didn't know all this stuff that he put into those director's commentary things. I was wow. Oh my goodness. I came into this one knowing it was very short. Obviously, because almost everyone knows what happens in Riddle School, but I just still want to put it up for the video. But, oh my goodness, I did not know half the stuff that he talked about in director's commentary. So that's gonna be it for this one. See you cool in the next one. Bye, guys. Wah!
Am I hanging on too tight? For me, it's just the thought of you that sets it right. Baby, you're my light.